Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. We back solo. Wait, I almost got used to saying that, man. Max is officially back from the pod, y'all. Max, how you
Yeah, I mean, I was
doing, my
about to be
brother?
like, I'm good. I'm good. I thought I was gonna be like, why don't you want me, man? Why don't you want me, Juan? Why don't you want me?
My boy
Because I'm
left me
married now. You
for
don't fucking love me no more.
you left me a little bit longer than I expected, bro. I mean, I was struggling here, man. I felt like I was on my own. I was fighting battles without you. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that you're back, bro. How you feeling, man? How you doing? And do you
I'm doing
feel
good.
different?
I'm out of the dungeon right now, so I feel a little scared, timid. I'm looking around, bright lights and sheet. I'm doing good though. I'm doing good, man. It was a long trip. Europe's cool. After like 2 weeks, you're like, fuck, man, where's America? Where's that place I love?
So what was the best thing
But
you did in Italy, bro? What was the funnest thing?
probably getting back on that plane in London, headed back to
No, it
America.
wasn't. No,
No,
it
no,
wasn't.
we went to a glass factory in Venice. It was pretty sick. Bought some sick cups, bought some big cups, met some people. It was fun. I think Venice was my favorite city.
They have a city called Venice over there?
God, are you
What do
kidding
you
me?
Yeah, I
You fucking
don't,
around it.
bro. I do not know Europe, bro.
You know,
I've never
like the
stepped foot in
Venice,
Europe.
like by my house.
Yeah.
That's like based off like Venice and Italy. Like that's why they have like canals and shit.
Really? More
I'll
you
send you
know,
some
dog.
pictures after the pod. Like the whole city's flooded. Like there's no cars. You can't drive anywhere. You have
Jesus
to get a boat.
Christ. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. That's a cool little
let me
fact.
drive the boat.
um, I'm glad that you had a good time though, man. You were well missed over here. Uh
Did you have a good time at the
Nuggets.
wedding?
Yeah, great time. I talked about the wedding the first episode I was back. I said I
Oh
had a great
no, I
time.
gotta.
Anything that you want to spill on for the wedding? Maybe I said it already, but go ahead and did you watch any of the
Uh,
pods? Were you supporting the
I
pod, dog?
didn't. I watched like the two last ones. I don't remember watching the one time at the wedding,
Okay.
but I would say it goes by so fast. It goes by so freaking fast. You have no clue. So you're the groom. Like you want to say like I didn't talk to you that much. Talk to you a good amount, but like you want to talk to him and your uncle you see twice a year is like, hey, let me take a picture. And I'm like, all right,
Right.
let's do it. And then like someone else comes up to you, someone else, and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it
Uh,
was awesome. I got to marry my best friend. It was great. Not you, different best friend.
Second best friend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, nah, man. I thought your wedding was well planned. Whoever planned it, shout out to them. I thought everything ran like super smooth.
Nah, it wasn't me.
I doubt it was you, but we need to probably hire that wedding planner for the podcast at times, man, because they did their thing. I thought everything ran smooth and everything was great, bro. The food, the vibes, everything, dude. Max was having the dance moves, man. Max was out there
Oh yeah,
shaking it,
Chris
dog.
Breezy. Whoa, whoa! And there was no shaking. There was no shaking. There was money being thrown, but it wasn't
Yeah,
for the shaking.
exactly, bro. But congratulations again, man, you and Ashley. But
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming, man.
oh yeah, no problem, bro. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Maybe you'll be coming to my wedding pretty soon. You know what I mean? But we
Nah,
shall
it's not a
see.
good day for me. Not a good day. I'm busy that
And you're
day.
gonna hold down the fucking fort like I did. So probably have you do 5 episodes solo rather than 4. But we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'll bring Joey into the fold.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, good luck there. Freaking But welcome to the show, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. The Max and Juan casts are officially back. We're separated for a little bit, but we're back with NBA. Some big news came out today. The whole Bradley Beal situation. We're gonna be talking Damian Lillard of him getting traded, free agency preview. Just a couple guys that can get traded in general. A little Zion talk. and a little bit of draft. Okay, so a lot of NBA in this podcast. So if you guys are NBA fans, you guys are gonna love this one. You guys have been killing it on YouTube lately, man. We've been getting a lot of love with the whole basketball talk, man. It's been a while since we've been really deep in basketball. So shout out to you guys, bro. We really appreciate that. And before we even talk about Bradley Beal, give me like a quick 30 seconds on the Denver Nuggets, Max, on them winning the championship. I just want to hear your whole perspective on that.
All right, I'm going to try my best to keep it to 30 seconds. It was such a Cinderella story. This one seed winning the championship. You know, you almost never hear of such a thing right? A one seed.
Yeah.
The amount of disrespect that Denver Nuggets have gotten has been crazy. Like I said, I'm being sarcastic. Like, they're a one seed. They're not the 8 seed Miami Heat. Like, it's not a Cinderella story. This team was fucking good. Why are we surprised?
Yeah.
Like, I get the main media. And, like, don't get me wrong, the Lakers were playing great, winning 2 games in LA, like sweeping the Lakers. I was a little surprised by. But you go back to that. It was a competitive sweep. But kudos to them, Mike Malone. I hope Jokic never comes back from Serbia. Race your horses. It just, you know, the only thing I felt good for was all those Laker fans that ran KCP out of town. I was like, hey, yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player, assholes. We just ran him out of town.
Facts.
Other than that, no, this was a good team. Miami ran out of magic. Everyone wants to crucify Jimmy Butler, but it's not his fault. Who was the second best player on the Heat? Bam.
Yeah, not gonna get it done.
7 good players. Jeff Green's good. Like freaking Aaron Gordon. I like the Denver Nuggets, and I don't think they're going anywhere. Like Bruce Brown said, running back. I would do that if I was the Nuggets.
Yeah, well said, well said. And I'll end it off with this. I said this in the podcast before. The right team won. I felt like the right team won this year. That's how I felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd add one more thing. I think we lose this place's team because their development was so weird just because of injuries.
Yeah.
Bubble, they went to the Western Conference Finals. Next year, their second best player, Jamal Murray, gets hurt for the whole year. And late in the year, so basically he gets out right before the playoffs. Then freaking Porter the next year. So you're missing 2 out of your top 4 guys. Yeah. It's no wonder they weren't winning. It wasn't Jokic. Jokic was doing the same shit the last 2 years. Yeah. You just had some better help around him, and that's what the playoffs are about, having some help.
100%. And speaking of playoffs and speaking of contenders and all that, a team that lost to the Denver Nuggets in the second round made a huge move today. Bradley Beal, officially a Phoenix Sun. He went for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and a bunch of BS draft picks.
Wow.
Yeah, not all that much. First reactions to the trade, Max.
I mean, they were about to just cut bait with Chris Paul. Like, they were going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we'll try to make a trade. I get Bradley Beal has a player, a no trade clause. But what about that makes you trade him for 10 cents on the dollar? Now, I've never been the world's biggest Bradley Beal fan. I've told you, I think in a certain situation, wow, he could be really spectacular. But for instance, let's swap him with Jimmy Butler. 2, I would say, similarly talented guys. But Bradley Beal doesn't have the leadership quality about him or the ability to elevate those around him.
Yeah.
He's kind of just plays for himself in a way, while Jimmy Butler plays for the Heat, if that makes sense. Am I making sense with that analogy?
No, I get you.
But I mean, it's pennies on the dollar for this talented of a guy. Like, let's not forget. Like, I don't want to sell Bradley Beal short. Like, this guy who can get 35 easily and super talented on offense, can handle the ball a little. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns' depth is going to be in the question with this trade, but what they really give up? Like, got rid of a guy you were going to cut bait with. You gave up Shamet, who's just been a meme for 2 straight years, and maybe the writing's on the wall. 1 for 8 and 2, because this is. I mean, if I'm the Suns, I give it an A because you turned 2 dog shit pieces, and that's rough to say to Chris Paul. I'm sorry, maybe like dog shit and Landry Shamet, plus like a little cat poop. A little hard. Yeah. But it's not bad. Not bad.
It's not smelling all that much, you know?
No. It's like a clean shit. You don't have to wipe. How's Chris Paul is?
It's disgusting.
He's like, it was pleasant. I know. I mean, Chris Paul's the first Hall of Famer, but like, first of all, he's gonna get hurt in the playoffs. Can't count on him. 2, he's 39 years old. He's kind of washed.
And his contract's so expensive. He's getting
Yeah,
overpaid, bro. Come on.
they were gonna cut him. They were
Yeah.
gonna cut him, guys. They didn't
Yeah.
want him. They don't
Well,
want him there.
well, look, Max. There's so many different angles to this trade. I feel like there's so many. There's the Bradley Beal. There's the Wizards being a complete dysfunctional franchise. There's Phoenix going essentially even more all in than they already were, and I think it's nowhere else to go than like player empowerment. And I I don't feel all that bad for the Wizards because they dug their own grave with this contract that they gave Bradley Beal. They gave him a no trade clause contract, and they're
Yeah.
paying the price for it. And that's what happened.
What year
I
is
would
this
have,
though? One with the trade rumors, like third year now. Or it's about him
yeah, at
they should
least,
trade him, right?
yeah.
I will say this for Bradley Beal: he never tanked it in like a James Harden. He did
Mm-hmm.
not show up. I just want to point that out. But yeah, on this, I agree with you, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is like the LA Rams from a couple years ago. It's like, hey, we're in for 80 cents, so let's just go in for $1.
It's crazy to think that in today's NBA, a guy like Bradley Beal got traded for this. It's absolutely insane. Like this was highway robbery at this point, bro. That's how bad the like assets they got. Like you can talk Chris Paul to me all you want, but like you said, Max, he's old as shit. He's always getting hurt. He makes so much freaking money. They're gonna have to pull like a Russell Westbrook deal out of their ass at this point with the Wizards.
No, I hear you, one. I'm just curious to know how many players could veto a trade in 2022-23. There was only one, Bradley Beal. He was the only one. So by my count, and this is I just Googled this quick, and I was thinking off the top of my head, I know Kobe had a no trade clause. I know KG had one. I know Dirk had one. There's only been 10 guys in the NBA ever.
Right.
David Robinson, Stockton, Kobe, Duncan, Garnett, Dirk, Wade, LeBron, Carmelo, and Beal. I'm sorry to say, Beal
that's such
really
a huge drop off.
Yeah, I mean, Carmelo's you're kind of like, okay, but Carmelo and those, well, he was like, Bradley Beal's never been considered one of the best 5 players in the NBA. So no, I was just like, how did he finagle that? Because were the Wizards that desperate after John Wall and all this type of shit? And I get, it's a good thing for a player, but man, he picked his destination. He got traded to a contending team. Now, obviously, there's still work to do. The rest of the roster isn't that good. But overall, if I was going to grade this trade, I'd give the Wizards a D and the Suns an A plus.
I think so too, man. Look, I know they don't have any bench right now, but I do think they're gonna for sure move DeAndre Ayton. He's not gonna be on the roster. The way I look at Ayton, it was high hopes for a guy after that finals run. And I would even say after last year, but this year I think it really put
not on the end one. They really crucified him towards the end of the year with like Jokic. Well, I mean, what's he supposed to do? It's Jokic,
yeah.
All right.
But my whole thing is like it happens in football too. It's like the winner of the Super Bowl, the winner of the championship. It's like, okay, what are we gonna have to do to beat these guys? Do we have the pieces to beat them? And DeAndre Ayton has proven to us, this is not a bad thing because more than half of the league has proven they can't do it. But he's definitely not a neutralizer of Jokic at all.
Like not even an impediment. Like he's just like,
right.
I'll just try. So this is what I would say, Juan. If I'm a Phoenix fan, and obviously I wouldn't trade Ayton unless the right deal was there. And unless, let's just say in the perfect world, he'll come back, he'll buy in. Frank Vogel knows how to turn a big man into a defensive player of the year type guy.
Right, Hibbert.
And do you buy in any that Frank Vogel could unleash DeAndre Ayton? Because here's the starting lineup right now: Booker, Beal, Okogie, Durant, Ayton. Now, obviously, you could slide Cameron Payne or a guy like that up in there. But, God, what do you really get for Ayton? Do you really get something you really love back?
I think the best thing for him, and this is probably the same guy, Miles Turner.
I was going to say, because Indiana had wanted Ayton.
Yeah, they
a couple off seasons ago.
Yeah, they offered him a contract and he was going to go to Indiana, but the Phoenix Suns matched it and it was on from there. Because, the easy excuse is like what you just said, Max. Like Monty Williams is gone. That was where the disconnect was Monty Williams and maybe even Chris Paul, a guy that he struggled to get along with at times. So those two guys are away from him. So maybe he gets better, but I don't see it. I wouldn't pay a guy like DeAndre Ayton that type of money on a team like this. I just
But no,
don't think
man,
he's a
but I
good
don't
fit.
think what do you care about the money? What do you care?
I would rather
Let's
round up the roster.
yeah, but I'm saying they can't use that money unless they get a package of guys for them.
Mhm.
Like I don't think there's that Laker package because they don't have any assets to throw into like sweeten it. I don't think they could trade Aiton. I don't think they have any first round picks left to trade. So
Right.
ideally, let's just look at Aiton the way you looked at Russ. Like, hey, we have this package. We could get Vanderbilt, D'Lo, Beasley, right, and
Mhm.
Hachimura for basically.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out there for Aiton because there's no pick being involved. Like, so you were going to trade. Let's say you trade Aiton. You're like, okay, we're going to trade him to Charlotte. We want PJ Washington, um, Bo Knight, and whatever center they have, Kai Jones. You think that
Yeah.
package is out there for Aiton? Like, I don't think
It's
teams are
hard
lining
because,
up
like
right
you said,
now.
it's the picks. And I think the NBA just brought in a new rule where you can't give away picks past like 3 years or something.
Yeah,
I want to
something weird
say,
with the new
yeah,
CBA.
yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Aiton. I would hope to trade him, even if it is for Miles Turner and not like really a roundup
Yeah,
of
Miles
of
Turner is a
guys.
fine thing, but I think you need to find a way to somehow.
I would
I mean,
definitely wait on it. I wouldn't be surprised if they go with him during the season and wait as long as possible. Or do you think
if
they
I
need to
if
trade
I
him now?
I think you trade him before unless you plan on keeping him because
Yeah.
all the only his value is not if he starts playing well, his value goes up. But if he's playing well, you're like, oh, we don't really want to trade him. So I think that's like the dilemma you're going to face is like, do we kind of ride it out with him? Because man, obviously their roster's done like Cameron Payne, Ross, Torrey Craig, Jock Longdale, Jake Longdale, whatever the fuck his name is,
Mhm.
Biombo, TJ Warren. Like these guys, you're like, ugh, yikes. Like they're real top heavy. And obviously
Yeah,
there's going to be guys on the buyout market. You could find
I
your
think I might be
backup
wrong,
bigs.
Max.
Hmm.
I might be wrong, but I think with that new CBA, that whole thing is done. I don't think there's a buyout market anymore.
Or not
I
buyout. I
might be
mean, just
wrong.
a veteran minimum guy. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
meant
okay.
like, there's going to be the guys who are just range chasing. It's like, yeah, I'll do a little deal.
Yeah. The
Like,
PJs of the world, PJ Tuckers.
yeah, veterans, NBA,
So
free
before we
agents.
rip into the Wizards, because I do want to spend at least like 2 minutes ripping them, is
Sorry,
this
once.
team, are you ready to put this team better than Denver? Because I don't think so.
No,
You think this
absolutely
is
not.
enough?
No, no, no. Like, nope. Sorry, can't do it.
Yeah. I look, I like what the Suns are doing as far as like, hey, you're gonna go all in, might as well do this. I love the fact that Bradley Beal is in a situation where I do feel like he can succeed. All three of them low key can't play defense, so that kind of scares me. But
Who's all
I
three of
like
them?
KD
Oh,
Book
I think KD can still. He
when
can't
he
play on
wants
ball.
to.
Yeah,
When
I
he
mean it's
wants
half the
to.
league nowadays. But yeah, I
Yeah,
get you. I get you.
yeah. But I really like Bill in this situation. It's perfect for him. He's the third guy. He doesn't have to be the number one dude.
He's overqualified to be a third guy. And I just want to point something out. The last playoff game we saw him in, Game 7 against Boston, he played his ass off. Like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna pull. That was the last. I mean, obviously, there's some problems if that was the last time he was in the playoffs. That was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But he balled his ass off. Like I'm gonna say he had like 35 that game.
Yeah.
Like
There's
in
some
the
really
TD
good.
Gardens, 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's a great player,
Yeah.
but he's just not the man on a team.
Yeah. And he has some great moments, but we'll see how it goes, man. Who do you think this helps out more, Book or KD?
I think KD, because I think he's such an upgrade over Chris Paul. And excuse me, I don't really. Obviously you lose the ball handling of Chris Paul, like the elite decision making, but I feel like Booker, Beal, and Durant have all ball handled enough, so you can kind of do it by committee.
Yeah.
Like this NBA is not really like, hey, get in the set right here. Let's run the action. Let's run these horn screens.
It's probably
like,
the best.
Let's just give it to KD on the fucking elbow and get a basket.
Yeah, speaking of the elbow, I mean, this is probably the best mid-range team that we've had in the last like 10 years, don't you think? These three guys.
Are these two guys better than KD, Steph, and probably from mid-range? Not three-point shooters, but
not three-point. And speaking of Steph, that'll be my last thing. This whole KD thing, I mean, people are ripping him on Twitter, but
yeah,
it's insane the amount of players this motherfucker has played with in his.
Who would you say is like an NBA great who didn't get to play with elite talent, like KG, right?
No, KG played with. Okay, what's elite talent? The top 50 guy?
Hey, yeah, no. How about like how many years was he in Minnesota? 10. How many years was that great? Okay. Like, I bet KG's like, this motherfucker got Hall of Famers like every 2 years, bro. I had like 3 towards the end.
But
I'm just saying, like, it's just funny.
He had like his last 2 prime years in Boston.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though, it's just like, I bet he's just like, damn, like, I couldn't get help for 10 years. This fool gets help every like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, insane. James Harden, Russ. James Harden,
James again, Kyrie, they signed together.
Steph, Clay,
Draymond. Yeah, it's real tough.
Booker, Beal. Jeez, man, throwing Ben Simmons. Nah, but
he's lifting. Guy's lifting. Watch out.
It's fucking crazy when we're gonna look back and see if KD.
Like, I just want to say, like, if you put KD's all-time team of teammates with KG's, fucking trash.
It's not even close. Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah,
and like that's like being nice
for KG.
But this is like being nice for KG with throwing Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, great player, great. He's a top 50 player of all time, but he's on the lower end of the top 50 list.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So there you go. All I know is I'm talking mad shit if KD doesn't win a ring when it's all said and done. When it's all said, like if you only got 2 rings from the Warriors, bro, I'm sorry, that's a blemish on your record. You're one of the most talented scorers I've ever seen for a 7-footer, and you're gonna go down as a top 3, maybe even the best small forward of all time, depending on how you feel about Bron. But in my book, you only win 2, and you look at all the talent this dude has had. That's a blemish, bro. That's a fucking big blemish.
I agree. I mean, he's what, 2-2 in NBA Finals.
Yeah,
KD
2-2. Yeah.
Granted, he tore his Achilles and played 1 game of 1, so that's kind of tough. But yeah, I mean, he's gotten a lot of flack for the way he's conducted himself, and I think some of it rightfully so, some unjust, unwarranted.
Did you hear, Max, that the owner for the Suns, his son, so many sons in there, but his son is the agent for Bradley Beal?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
I thought that was. I didn't know that. I thought that was really weird too. I read that today.
I feel like that should be like. I feel like your son can't be like on a
right.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There should be like some.
That was kind of weird.
Conflict of interest here. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Lakers when Rob Pelinka became GM. They're like, hey, you can't be a fucking agent anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
100%. Okay, let's rip into the Wizards for a little bit, okay? I want to make this a clip. All right, the Washington Wizards. Let's talk about it. This is why, Max, I have brought this
around KP.
No, this is why, Max, I have been saying for the last like 10 years you have known me And I've been advocating for this, and the NBA is going the complete opposite way.
No, yeah.
We need to get rid of some fucking teams in the NBA. And this is why the Washington Wizards are a prime example of this. Because they pull shit off like this. It's already bad in the fact that you guys dug your grave with Bradley Beal and gave one of the worst players in NBA history to be given a no trade clause. Max just went over the list. He's nowhere close to those guys. It's in the likings of Kobe and Dirk, just to name out a few. You do that, and you get highway robbered by the Phoenix Suns.
I mean, they got highway robbery a lot. Like, I mean, Kendrick Nunn for Rui Hachimura robbery, like on a much smaller scale.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to. I mean, this is a team that's just made bad decision after bad decision, and you could make the case, hey, like, it's not working, guys. And I read today 33% of the NBA's never won an NBA title. That's absurd. But I agree, Juan. It's puzzling. It's pennies on the dollar. You have Kyle Kuzma, upcoming free agent, Porzingis, who's, I think, at this point, just a fun little guy one night. This is going to be rock bottom. You're going to rock bottom right now.
Yeah.
And it should have happened sooner. You should have traded Beal sooner, because I'm sure this was not the best trade package he's gotten. Granted, he could have shot down any, but I'm sure there would have been some he would have gladly said yes to. Like, I'm sure he would have said yes to Miami a couple years ago.
It sounded like the Suns were obviously his number one choice, but the other teams that were in the runnings for him that he turned down was the Bucks.
I would have loved to see that trade. I would have loved to see that trade. I bet
like a legit one,
Middleton.
right?
Yeah, I would have loved to see what that was, because you have to think it would have been Middleton or Holiday.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why, though, they didn't really have anyone that was like,
no, but
I'm sure
he was just like, no, I don't want to come. Fuck you. He said no. It didn't matter. They could have been like, oh, here's Giannis. He'd be like, no, I'm not going there. That's what's crazy. You could offer him Luka, and he'd be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And my whole thing is, this is how I would have handled it. Maybe I would have got burnt, but I'm going to say this. I would have sat him. I would have fucking let him rock.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to suck anyway. It's not going to matter if you play or not. I would have been like, okay, you got a no trade clause. We're in a tight bind. You want to get out of here. But you know what? I'm pulling a Daryl Morley. Like, your ass is going to rot on the bench. And when we find someone that's suitable and that you like, we're going to do it. Because someone's going to break. Someone is going to break.
3 more fucking years or 4 more. One's a player option. He had 3 more years. Let him rot. Fuck him. No offense. I like Bradley Beal. It's not his fault. But just let the guy rot and be like, you know what? We're not going to trade you until we actually get a good offer. And I'm sorry, there had to be better ones. There just had to be.
Yeah.
And this is a shittily run organization. They have a lot of work to do. Have fun being in the lottery this year, because your team's garbage. I'm sorry to say it, because you're going to get rid of Chris Paul. There goes one of the guys you traded for. So unless Landry Shamet's an all-star in waiting and nobody fucking knows, I'm going to say this was a shit trade.
Yeah, terrible. F for the Wizards, man. This is why.
You got no good players. You didn't get anything good.
Yeah, for the one asset you did have. Crazy.
Wizards. Sorry, Winston. You don't deserve that.
Wizards, as Bill Simmons likes to say. That's enough on the Wizards, man. Let's go ahead and transition. So, told you guys we're going to have a free agency preview. Max, let's go trades. Let's go free agency. I want to stick on trades, though. I want to go Damian Lillard. What do you think about Damian Lillard? There's been a lot of talks because the Heat were a team that was expected to get a guy like Bradley Beal, or at least attempt. That ship has sailed, and there was a report that came out today saying all their full attention's on Damian Lillard, and feeling like this is going to be the offseason that he basically surrenders and says, I want out of Portland. What do you think of this?
I think it's in the best interest for both parties. I think there needs to be a hard reset in Portland. Damian Lillard, 32 years old, coming off a pretty good season, averaged like 32 points a game. But this is a guy I would say is giving it all to Portland, put them back on the map with LaMarcus Aldridge, but then he carried when LaMarcus left very early in his career. He's been an all-star, I think, 7 times now. He's basically been the franchise guy, big shot maker. But he's getting a little long in the tooth, and we know his shortcomings as a player, one. But this is a type of guy I don't mind a team taking a little bit less just to make sure he gets to the right spot. So, for instance, my point with this is, hey, Miami just gave us an offer we think is an 8 out of 10, but New York Knicks gave us an offer that's 9 out of 10. We say, hey, Dame, you've done right by us. You've been nothing but a class act. We'll give you the choice. We're okay with both of these. One's a little better for us, but we understand you want to win. You're not getting any younger. And he's like, yeah, I'd like to go to Miami. Then I'm cool with that. I totally get it. But I think the writing's on the wall. You trade Damian Lillard to the Heat, wherever he wants to go, you try to make it work there first. And if it doesn't, then you just trade him to whatever you can get for your team.
Yeah. That'll probably
he's been their franchise, right?
Yeah.
We're in agreement.
100%.
He's been a class act.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
He didn't be a malcontent. Now, if he comes to camp 50 pounds overweight and is like, I fucking hate Portland. But he's not, because I think he's the type of guy who really adopted the city he got drafted to. He's an icon. He's a future Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. So let's try to do right by this guy. But I agree, Juan. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him somewhere where he's the number 2. Because I think when he's a number 2, it'd be a great role for him behind Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, because if Portland tries to go the route of we're going to get the best deal possible and we're going to put Dame on the back burner and say, okay, give us a list of teams. Say he gives out 5 teams. Okay, we're going to get the best deal that we can get. And I don't think they're going to be good deals because it's going to be extremely hard to trade a guy like Damian Lillard and get the value you want back. There's not many teams out there for it.
Yeah, 30. He's 30, going to be 33 this year. That's pretty fucking old.
Yeah,
he's a point guard little guy. Been banged up the last 3 years. 67 games, 29.
Not to mention 58. The ridiculous contract numbers the next upcoming years.
But it's not nearly as bad as Chris Paul. He's not 38, and he's still playing at a really high level, really fucking high level. I mean, he just shot 37% from 3, 46% from the field. Now, his defense is always going to leave much to be, wanted. But I have there should be a healthy market. Maybe you get the Knicks in there. Maybe you get the freaking Heat. Now, honestly, the Heat have nothing I'm dying for. I'd rather have RJ Barrett than Tyler Hero.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. But I don't even do you really want to give up RJ Barrett for Damian Lillard?
I think so. I would do that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you're the Knicks,
I would. Yeah, I would do it because
that's tough for me.
Now, my reasoning for doing that as a Knick fan or a Knick person would be, we like RJ. I don't think he'll ever make an all-star team. I don't think he's that good of a player. Maybe he'll make an all-star team or two, but is he a franchise-changing guy? No. But what Damian Lillard can be is a franchise kind of just change the way our franchises run, where it's someone respectable. It's not, hey, we just got T-Mac after 7 knee surgeries. We just traded for Stephon Marbury. You have Julius Randle there. You have guys who are good. And yeah, they were, it's funny. The Knicks 2 years ago, everyone loved, like, oh, look at this team turning around. Then the next year, oh, they suck. They're the Knicks again. Now this year, they're good. They won a playoff series. So I think Damian Lillard gets them closer to contending than RJ Barrett is. That's my philosophy. So I say, hey, here's RJ Barrett. Here's quickly. We'll take, if there's a way you can get Jeremy Grant in the deal, perfect. I know he's a free agent. I think it's worth it for them.
I'm not willing to give up RJ Barrett. I feel like he's one of those players right now where he can very much blossom next year. You know how it is with some of these kids coming out of college or whatever overseas where it takes a while for them to get going. I think of a player like Brandon Ingram, where it's just like he just winds
Oladipo.
up. Yeah, Oladipo. Like some of these guys just take a while to blossom because they're fucking kids. And the way that they're brought up in basketball these days, it's fucking terrible. AAU is a fucking death sentence for these kids on how to play the game of basketball. Some of these kids haven't even ran sets by the time they got into the NBA. That's how bad it is. Go watch Jalen Green on the Houston Rockets. It's fucking terrible. So
Jalen Green didn't do anything to you to deserve that. I want you to apologize right now. You're right, but he didn't deserve no.
But that's why I would keep on to a guy like RJ Barrett because I think he's fucking dripping with talent, dog. Like he
I get
needs
it.
to be.
He's talented, but it's been 4 years. He still can't really shoot. Like, you think that's changing? And yeah, I know
do
Victor
think that can
Oladipo,
change.
same thing. But how many Oladipos are there? And I mean, he's a good player, but I would prefer Dame. And don't get me wrong, it's a tough conversation. I
It's
would feel
tough,
like
yeah.
I feel like Knick fans. There's gonna be some Knick fans that want the instant gratification, and there's gonna be Knick fans who are like, no, let's just keep doing it slowly but surely. I'll tell you who I don't want the Knicks to get. That's Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think he'll be on the move because he means so much to Minnesota, according to him.
Right.
You fucking joke.
Yeah. I see. Look, I see three places for Dame. I see. I can really see the Knicks. You brought that to my attention. The Bucks and the Heat. I feel like those three are the teams that you should look out for. The Bucks because I do think they want to move on from Drew Holiday, maybe even move on from Chris Middleton. And then with the Heat, they're so close. They want to get revamped. Like their roster is just weird right now.
They need
so
some
they wouldn't need it.
firepower.
Exactly.
Firepower.
My whole thing is I don't think any team is going to be willing to give up what the Blazers want.
Like I don't think the Blazers want a blockbuster trade package. I don't think that's in their cards. And I think
I
they're
hope not
fools
because they're not.
That.
We'll see, man. I feel like that's gonna be their mentality, and I know for a fact the Knicks are not gonna want to trade RJ. I know you would do it, but I truly feel like a lot of these teams that are in the runnings for Damian Lillard, they're not willing to pay for him. And hopefully, like you said, it's Dame. Dame is the priority here. That's what teams are hoping.
Okay, I want to shift gears to another guy I think is definitely going to get traded this offseason. And it's going to be controversial to some. Some people are going to be like, yeah, it's about time. And it's a different guy. This is a guy who's in the same draft as RJ Barrett, number 1 pick, Zion Williamson. Everyone's favorite meme for some stuff, baby mama drama or just, eating good. But I think if I'm the Pelicans, I think we cut bait with them. I think we do it. I think it's time. The best ability one is availability. He's been a guy who chronically can't be there. Skinny, fat, whatever. He gets hurt. You've been hurt in college. You've been hurt season 1, season 2, healthy season 3, go to the bubble. Oh, then you're fat. Gets hurt the next year. What makes you think he could ever be healthy?
And I would just say this.
Hey, let's just play. If he's on, though, they're the 1 seed. Fucking when's he on? Hey, who gives a fuck if you trade him next year and he's healthy the whole year? Just wait. He'll get hurt. Don't worry. That's what some players are, and I hate to say it. I wish I'd be healthy. There's too many injuries that scare me with him. It's not like, oh, he broke his shoulder. Oh, he broke his finger. Oh, my God, he got kneed in the dick. No, it's like, oh, he tore his meniscus. Oh, he broke his foot. Oh, those are exciting things you want for players.
Yeah, and you know what else is not exciting for players to hear is all the off the court issues. And it's, you want to turn the other cheek and be like, player personal problem, baby mama drama. Like it's funny. Ha ha ha. He was, with an adult
porn
model
star
and stuff. Yeah.
Just say porn star. Don't class it up for everybody.
I gotta class it up for Zion, but it was it was put out there that this girl that he's with was a bad influence on him, and that the team struggles with getting a hold of him and getting him ready for the season, and especially during the off season on getting them to work out. That's off the court issues, and that's what scares me the most. It's like you throw on top of this all the injury stuff.
One, just to build off that point, first year 24 games. Next year, COVID 61. Didn't play the next year. Played 29 games. He's played 114 games, probably out of a possible ballpark at 300. Let's just say 300 because there were some short years in there. But
Yeah.
when's enough?
Yeah. Now, they should have traded him in the beginning of last season.
Correct. But then he's one of those guys where it's like, I bet if let's say he starts the year on the team, 10 good games, you're like, oh, there's no way. You can't trade him. Oh, shit, he broke his ankle. Oh.
Because I don't think there's going to be that much for him out there. I
think it's very – I think a team like the Knicks would get desperate for that type of star power. It's like, we have a burly lefty, but he just doesn't have the athleticism. Let's just get let's get another burly lefty. He needs to go. I don't know. First of all, I think the Miami Heat. I'd love to see that fucking culture get their hands on this guy. The body fat thing, he's failing.
That would be great. Yeah, they will get on him. He definitely needs to go with a team with some veteran help, like as far as like guiding this guy, because that's part of the reason is that the Pelicans, they don't have anyone. Brandon Ingram's like just as young as him. Like no one's gonna check his ass.
Doesn't seem like the biggest leader.
Yeah,
and I like Brandon Ingram.
Someone needs to check his ass on the team, and it has to be someone that's well respected and good, someone that's actually good. Like I heard talks about him going to the Hornets. I'm sorry, bro. That's a terrible idea. It's wishful thinking that it will work. I see a fucking dumpster fire. No one on that team is going to hold him accountable.
LaMelo Ball will be like, yeah, dude, come on. You got to get that diet under control. What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. Again, there's very few teams I could – if I was Dallas, I'd kind of kick the tires on Zion. I'd be like, hey, come on. Don't hang out with Kyrie.
That's a bad idea, too.
I don't think it's that. I mean, him and Luka, maybe they put away too much food, those two guys.
Hey, Luka's getting skinny, man. Yeah. I've seen some pictures of him lately. One team, and with the whole veteran thing, it won't work out, but I would really like to see him on there, and I think it'll make them very interesting, is the Brooklyn Nets. I would love to see Zion go. As far as a talent standpoint, like, hey, we just got Zion on the cheap. Like, oh, he's not getting injured no more. The off the court was all BS. It was just baby mama drama. None of it's true. Wishful thinking type of thing. I would love to see him go to Brooklyn. I think that would be great for Brooklyn.
What do you think the package is? Just like, is it S tier, A tier, B tier package for like, what's the package going to cost?
The lowest of the low.
So it's like a B tier.
Yeah,
like
not as low as Bradley Beal.
No. I think you have to throw in a good player and like a pick, or maybe a couple picks. But I don't think it's like what. Go ahead.
Who has more value, DeAndre Ayton or Zion Williamson?
I think Zion. Still, because you could talk yourself
by how much?
Upside. Ayton's probably C tier. Zion's maybe B, top of B tier, bottom A.
Yeah.
I think he's got more value. I think Ingram might have more value, and I think a lot more people would want to trade for Ingram, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Ingram's got a bigger market. I got one more guy that I really want to talk about, if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Is it time we break up Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum?
No.
And by that, I mean, what's the chances Jalen Brown gets traded? And it's not just the fact that he's not a good player. He's a really good player, right? I think Jalen Brown's a good player.
Yeah.
You think he's 5 years, $300 million good?
He's an all-NBA guy. Nah.
That's the problem. Yeah. Do you think that he's worth 16
It's
60-ish
hard.
million a year because I don't think he's worth that. Now, this
I
is a
hopped.
classic case of the worst possible time to have a career year.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolute worst.
guys, sometimes there's this thing in the NBA called luck. Like, hey, we just happened to sign Steph Curry to a
Mhm.
4-year, $44 million deal because he wasn't eligible for the max. Hey, there's some players who are really good at basketball and their situation kind of prevents them from being like recognized so they don't get the all NBA teams. Like,
Mhm.
it would be perfect. Like, if you had a young star, you're like, God, please, just like if I can get him to the super max and he doesn't do like, that's the ideal because instead of using 35% of your money, it's 25%. And
Yeah.
that's 25% to 30 is only 10, but hey, that's $30 million. And this is a case is Jalen Brown, like a guy like Bradley Beal, they shouldn't get the supermax. 5 years for 300 million is a little rich for my blood. I think Jalen Brown's a 5 for about 200
Yeah.
personally. I think that's a
Mhm.
little high. But this is the type of move you make it, you might box yourself in. And there's no escaping it.
Yeah. I had a podcast. It was the first podcast I did on here after the Celtics lost. And I came up on here and I said the Celtics should get rid of Jalen Brown. And I thought they should go after a guy like Damian Lillard because I thought he can bring a little bit more, that extra just
Mm-hmm.
dog. Like I feel like they lack that killer mentality. It's been proven the last 2 years specifically where they just lack it. And I felt like Damian Lillard can do that. I realized that it's very hard because Jalen Brown doesn't fit the value of Damian Lillard at all. I don't feel
Uh,
like for the
you
Celtics.
you think he has more value or less?
Yeah, I think he has more value, Jalen Brown.
Yeah, he's really young, very
Yeah.
young guy. But again, it's just the fact that I don't think necessarily he's the best fit for this team with the way he operates. Like, hey, he's a good player, but he's
Mhm.
not really the best. Put the ball on the ground and attack the rim. He's not the best. Hey, I can play make for other guys. He's kind of like a one trick pony. His one
I don't
trick's the scorer.
my whole thing, Max, is I feel like they're gonna wind up downgrading the Celtics if they trade him.
No
I
matter
don't
what
think
they do.
they're yeah, no matter what they do, they will I was thinking about this after I said it, and I was like, yeah, like I was looking around the league and they will be downgrading for everyone. Everyone that will be available and realistically for Jalen Brown, they'll be downgrading. Now, I completely understand you though, from the perspective of not wanting to pay him and wanting to break up that duo because look, everyone wants to make it fucking rainbows and sunshines and shit with them and be like, oh my god, they have so much success, they score a bunch of points, they make it to Eastern Conference Finals and the finals. I'm sorry, bro.
They
All
lose.
these all these Eastern Conference Finals bullshit. This is the Boston Celtics we're talking about. And if you want to settle for that, cool, bro. The Charlotte Hornets, the Washington Wizards will love to do that. But this is the Celtics we're talking about. They expect championships. This is not good enough. So that's why I feel like if they're going to make a big move, they need to be ballsy with it. They
What if
need
you
to pull it off.
would you trade Jalen Brown for Zach LaVine and Kobe White?
No, that's a downgrade. That's I'm
I think
sorry.
that's just as good. And you got a little bit better.
Even though Jalen Brown hasn't been good on defense for the last like season and a half, so you can't say that like he's better than Zach LaVine to a total
Would you
fucking.
have done Jalen Brown for Bradley Beal straight up?
That would have been interesting, but it would have been
I feel like Tatum
close.
would have been like, at St. Louis, got to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I totally get you, man. It's crazy how this guy made all NBA because it was a weird year with LeBron and Kawhi being hurt. Like it was just a weird year for the small forward position. That's why he
I
got it.
I agree. I absolutely
Yeah.
fucking agree.
But
And Boston
if
might
I
have to
had it,
pay the price.
if I had a trade a max, the only guy I would do it for, and if you want to be ballsy, Damian Lillard. That's the only guy because I feel like he brings us something different. to that team.
Yeah, a little bit different blend. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I just don't think they would do that because I feel like the Celtics are like, oh no, maybe let's do it for. I think the Celtics would be like, no, we'll take Jeremy Grant too, and then they'd be like, oh, I don't know about that. That's a little rich for our blood. Anyone else you want to talk about?
If he threw in Simons, would you do it?
Yeah, I do it.
Heartbeat.
I do it.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%. But you can't.
Yeah.
They're too.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Portland loves drafting little guards to play with each other. What was I going to say? I had something I was going to ask you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I'm going to give you some names of some guys, and I want you to tell me 1 out of 10, do you think they'll come back to their team or not? So 10 means they're absolutely leaving. 1 means they're staying. James Harden.
Leaving.
Does he return to Philly? So 1.
Leaving. 1.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Just tell me staying or going. Staying or going, okay. Kyrie Irving.
Leaving.
Fred VanVleet. He's leaving, but he already left. Chris Middleton. You think he hits that player option button?
I think he stays.
I think he stays coming off the injury he had. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Brook Lopez.
Leaving. He's going to leave.
That's crazy. Austin Reeves.
Staying.
Okay. I like that one. Oh, my goodness.
Quick question before you go on.
Yeah.
Do you think Austin Reeves is worth $100 million?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I don't know about that one.
Because they're going to
worth $100 million.
That's the thing. I don't know.
We might have to put that on the back burner. Let me think about that one, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Pascal Siakam.
Leaving. He needs to leave. The Raptors
he has to get traded, I think. He'll get traded, but I think it's time to hit the restart button with that, right?
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward?
Fuck. Who cares? Fucking leave. Like
Jordan Poole? I would say leave him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'd say you leave him.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to trade
you try to build him up, and then as soon as you build him up, get rid of him.
Yeah. I heard a couple of trade mocks to Orlando. I would like that.
I think that'd be fun. Last one. John Collins or Trae Young.
Leave. He's not going to stay. It's time for him to get traded.
He's Bradley Beal right now. He's been every year? Let's trade John Collins. Collins. And I think he's a good player, but I think he's not really what you want if you're trying to compete.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else you want to hit?
Yeah. Let's talk about some Lakers, okay? Out of all these guys, free agents and trade guys, who's on the top of your list to trade for?
Okay. Sorry.
To trade for or keep? Just priority list. You're the Laker GM. What's your priority list?
Okay. You gonna tell me the names, or I have to say them?
No, go ahead. It can be anyone. Like, okay,
I
got this guy. Yeah.
I think you absolutely, whatever the offer is on Roy and Reeves, you match it. No problem. Take it. D'Lo, I think you wait. I think my ideally would be like, let's go get Kyrie. Kyrie is just a better version of D'Lo. Other than that, Fred VanVleet is another guy I would say is a better version of D'Lo. I would get Fred VanVleet rather than D'Lo. Granted, D'Lo's got some size to him, but I know Fred VanVleet's just a better version of him. Stay away from James Harden if he becomes a free agent. He's a fucking loser. Jeremy Grant would be super high up there if we could get him, but I don't think we're going to be able to.
What about Dame?
Would love Dame, but I don't want to pay too big a price. So if it's like, oh, here's D'Lo and Vanderbilt, I do it. But I don't really want to get rid of Andy. Like, I don't think the Lakers – like, I feel like Lakers just need to get a little better. Like, we just need to get a little better. Like, hey, maybe Rui Hachimura takes a step up. He takes a little bit of a leap. Reeves gets a little better. Hey, we find a better defender. Hey, Vanderbilt can start making threes. I think that's what the Lakers need. Just marginal better.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I feel like they should run it back with the same team. I know.
That's what I'm saying. Run it back. But if you
Yeah, but
if
like
you can
with
upgrade
D'Lo,
D'Lo, no. I think if you could get D'Lo, you'd be like, yeah, we'll take Kyrie Irving over D'Lo any day of the week.
do you really want Kyrie though? A guy that
Over
you're not
D'Lo,
even
yeah.
for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
okay. The
LeBron.
player in a vacuum.
Come on. LeBron's gonna whip that ass into shape. Come on. LeBron got the
You're
Kyrie
hoping
code.
for
Come
that.
on. Hey,
You're
Kyrie ain't
fucking
been the same
hoping.
since. Kyrie ain't been the
You're.
same since.
I think you're
Come on,
hoping
dog.
for that, but to me,
No.
okay, what are we paying Kyrie?
Like whatever we pay D'Lo, like 10 mil, 15. Yeah, you're like, fuck yeah. You're like, yeah, come on.
10 mil,
Come
yeah,
on.
but I feel
Yeah.
like they'll probably get paid a little bit more.
You fucking
If
blow
I'm
him for 10 mil.
if I'm paying Kyrie like 20 mil, bro, like sorry, like I don't want you.
That's what D'Lo wants. I bet. What you can get D'Lo
I would
for?
rather keep D'Lo. At least I know
You're
D'Lo's gonna
smoking
play.
dick.
I think D'Lo will play. Yeah, he had one bad playoff series, bro. Yes, it was the Western Conference Finals. It was tough, but he fucking played his ass off, bro. And he fits the Lakers so fucking well.
I think
He's
his
a spot up
role.
shooter.
I think Kyrie's a better version of that, and he gives you a chance to create his own offense more than D'Lo. That's why I just think he's a better all around player.
I feel like D'Lo being a spot up shooter at
You've
times.
had this dream of D'Lo since he got to LA. Let it go, baby.
I'm not letting it go. I truly feel that way about D'Lo. I know in a vacuum, like yeah, Kyrie. I'm not saying D'Lo is a better player than Kyrie. I'm just saying you put everything on the table, money wise, personality wise. You put fit wise. I don't think he's a right fit for the Lakers. I would rather take D'Lo. That's my personal opinion.
You just
I
want
don't see.
someone to
I
say
don't see Kyrie.
D'Lo.
Look, all this shit about
That's all you want.
all this shit about Kyrie like having his own offense and shit. Like that's what I don't want. I don't want another player to stop the ball. I don't want that shit.
That's what D'Lo does.
It already stops with Braun. It already stops with Braun. At least with D'Lo though, he can. At least with D'Lo, he can be passive at times and just stay in the fucking corner.
That's what
How many times
did you do?
I don't feel like Kyrie's gonna be able to do that.
LeBron
he can do it as a player skill wise.
Hey, he loves AD. He loves Braun. He'll fall in line. It's not like Russ.
That's what we think.
I just want to point one thing out. If we get Kyrie, we can at least give him the ball the last possession instead of watching LeBron hoist up a fucking prayer three. That's not going to go in.
I agree with that. But that's why we got Reeves, dog. Reeves is an offense maker.
Reeves and Kyrie and Reeves.
But you brought up another name, Fred VanVleet. I would love Fred VanVleet. I feel like he's the better version of D'Lo 100%. You don't got the
you don't worry about shit. And he's you don't worry about shit. You just know he's going to do his job.
Yeah, he's a little smaller, but D'Lo don't play no type of defense, so it's kind of the same.
Exactly. D'Lo just tries I think Fred VanVleet's a way better defender than D'Lo. At least he tries. D'Lo just hey, just run me over.
I'm sorry. I'm not part of that Kyrie fucking bus right now. Right. I don't want it.
We can agree to disagree.
I don't want it. Max is thinking you're going to get Kyrie of 2016.
We got a better version. Got Kyrie 2023. Signed to
Kyrie
Anta,
is a James Harden.
Nikes.
Kyrie is James Harden.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Kyrie produces in big situations. Fuck James Harden.
Okay, ever since Kyrie has joined the Boston Celtics, what's the difference between him and Harden besides fucking Harden coming fat into training camp?
55 pounds. Heart. That's it.
Good luck with heart, dog. I'm sorry.
Hey, sometimes
I'll pass.
Just because you have heart don't mean you got heart, dog. I just tell you that. Someone wise told me that one time.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. So there's your free agency stuff. Let's go ahead and move on to the NBA draft. We wanted to talk about this just a little bit, okay? I know 3 prospects, okay? I know Miller, I know Scoop Henderson, and I know Wemby, okay? AKA I don't even want to attempt to say his name. Wembanyama. How do you say it? The correct way of saying it. Victor Wembanyama? Or
you got it.
Wembanyama?
both. Wembanyama. I go, Mama Yama. That's what they be
All right,
saying now.
so where do you want to start? You want to start with the crumbs first with Miller? You know what I mean? A guy that's lesser talent, of course, of Victor.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, just because I think this is clear cut. Obviously, only thing that's gonna stop Vic is being 7'4" and the injuries and risk you kind of take with being 7'4". We saw guys like Yao, Bill Walton also come to injuries, but his skill is uncommon. The way he moves is uncommon for somebody so big. You know, I see like post of like, I mean, not post, like videos and shit of like, they dump it down to, you know, like Nikola Pekovic and he just backs them down, or like, I'm just saying someone on that echelon, right? Like just some big bruiser, like smashes it. I'm like, if people are like, this is, well, imagine what an NBA center would do. Hey, who the fuck's posting up in the NBA if you're not named Joel Embiid and Jokic?
Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Oh, you think Anthony Davis is going to plow through him?
No.
I wish, but he won't.
No.
So, first of all, who gives a fuck about post-ups anymore? This guy's going to deter shots. He's going to be great with the Spurs. The only thing that would be crazy if the Spurs didn't take him one, they took a guy like Scoot, who's
that's not going to happen, man.
It's not. He's 6'3", freakily built and athletic, but kind of a questionable jump shot. So that scares me. And Brandon Miller is just like the Charlotte Hornets fucking love. Let's get someone solid at 2. Let's not do anything risky. But that was the Michael Jordan Hornets. So maybe they'll do something risky. Like, I think it's pretty clear cut. Scoot 2, Miller 3, Wembanyama 1, obviously.
So you like the whole, because they'll probably have to get rid of Terry Rozier if he's not a free agent. Excuse me if I don't know that. Don't really follow Charlotte.
No problem. Who cares? No problem.
But Scoot is a point guard, right?
Yeah, point guard.
So do you slide?
Guard. He's not really like, hey, Chris Paul point guard. He's more like Dame Lillard point guard.
So you would slide Melo 2-1, don't matter.
I don't think Melo's a killer. I know he made an all-star team, but I don't think he's a franchise-changing guy. I don't think he's
pretty damn good, though. I would agree with you, but he's pretty damn good.
He's good. But hey, they still win 15 fucking games a year, and he can't stay healthy. So
he's a loser right
now. That's my 2 cents. There's one more thing I'd like to add about this. I'm just trying to think what it was. God dang it. Oh, people who watched last year and Max like, you fucking hate Chet Holmgren. Why do you like Victor Wembanyama? This guy is a freak of fucking nature. Chet Holmgren is just a tall white guy who blocks shots. Fuck that guy. You're not good. That's my take. I didn't like him.
Man. I don't like him now. Hey, if verdict's still out. Let the guy
very
play
much. First. I could totally be wrong.
Yeah. I hope Victor does do good. AKA Wemby. That's why I'm gonna wind up calling him fucking Wemby. I hope Wemby is good, man, because it's just gonna go on to prove what everyone has been saying, and what I've advocated for is that the Americans are low-key getting passed up by everyone else in the world as far as developing talent.
Hates him? I think Gobert's like, this guy's everything I'm not.
Maybe.
I wish I could dribble. I wish I could shoot.
Yeah. But
he's taller than me. He's got longer arms than me.
The one thing I would hope to see from him is that he doesn't fall in love with the 3-point shot, like jumper. I hope for how big he is, he develops something that's like his go-to move, like an unstoppable thing that he has.
I would say I'm totally happy if he shoots threes the first year, just like acclimating to the league. Right. Just because, like, hey, I don't want him on the block.
Yes,
I don't really want him there. I think you play him more like Porzingis, where it's like, hey, you have a center next to him. And you kind of let him roam around and shit. You don't want him banging with Joel Embiid for 50 possessions a game. Sorry, not yet. Like, truthfully, obviously the frame's kind of scary. He'll get 20 to 25 pounds bigger as his career goes on. Hopefully, like 40 pounds.
Well, the good thing about it is that he is going to the Spurs. And I know you hate this because you've brought this up before, where you've said, like, low-key, the Spurs haven't done shit. Like,
I think that's more of a you thing than me thing.
No, since Kawhi. Since Kawhi, they haven't really developed anyone. Yeah.
No, not really. Lonnie Walker and Laker great. Want to play for us.
I mean, fucking minimum guy, but
Yeah, I know 100%. No, but I take that they've had some success with Vassal, with Keldon Johnson, Sochi isn't bad, but they took a guy Jonathan Primo like 15. They're like, fuck this guy, cut him. See ya.
well, for
I mean,
different
obviously
reasons
off the
too.
field stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
So you see what I
but
mean?
you do have that that Popovich charm to him where they're
Uh,
gonna play really good basketball and they're gonna have the spacing right and they're
it's
gonna
the
have some
best
creative ways.
coach to go to because you have to respect him. You know he's not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, hey, sorry, fucking Charlotte, keep bagging on you. Like,
Or
come on, it's
Washington.
not Orlando or Washington. Oh, it's hire fucking Vinny Del Negro. Let's try it.
Yeah,
Like, come on, it's a joke.
right. Yeah, this is Pop, and it's crazy to think that the NBA got so lucky for him landing on the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I think
And
this is like the
watch,
lowest risk factor, like team.
yeah, and watch out for the Spurs because they got a lot of cap, they got a lot of money, so
DeMar,
maybe,
come back.
yeah, maybe they sign a DeMar, maybe
Maybe
they,
Harden.
maybe they
LOL.
form a little team, man. Like, who will be really good playing next to Victor Wembanyama that I'm thinking of is Brook Lopez. Like, why wouldn't the Spurs sign Brook Lopez?
I would too. Be like, hey, teach him the
Yeah,
back to the basket stuff you don't do anymore. Show him.
exactly.
Yeah, see?
Exactly. So I'm excited for Victor Wembanyama. As far as Scoot goes, uh, the guys who can't really shoot really scare me.
He does have
He,
one thing over most 6'3" guys. He's built like a fucking tank.
yeah, he's fucking
Kind of
ridiculous.
like
He looks like a football player.
bite-sized Edwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Real talk. And this is a G League guy coming out from Ignite. We'll see how that development goes. I know Jalen Green was a guy that came out from G League, so more and
Stop.
more,
Leave
more
him
and
alone.
more of these guys are coming out everywhere besides college. And would you even consider Brandon Miller a college guy because he'd even fucking play in the tournament because of off the court issues?
Hey, I wouldn't
Like,
want Ja to be on his team. Let's just say that. I don't think Ja and him be a good match.
but I'm looking forward to the draft, man. I'm excited for those three guys. After that, not really much out there that I know. At least someone's gonna be good, someone's gonna come out of the woodworks, but at least we got a generational guy in Wembanyama, and I just hope he develops an unstoppable move some way
Healthy.
and
Be healthy.
yeah, be healthy and just do creative stuff. Kind of like the Nuggets do with Jokic. Like, you know how Jokic will come off like ball screens and shit?
Yeah, I would
And
love to
like,
see him do that shit.
yeah, like why wouldn't you use Wemby like that?
Yeah.
So I
Like,
hope we see him in those situations.
I hope if he gets switched, like it's like, hey, dude, you remember you're 7'5", right? You just shoot over
Yeah.
him. Just like back him down a little,
Right.
Don't be like Anthony Davis, who doesn't understand that.
Yeah. All I know is that if he faces Kenny Lofton, he's probably going to be lunch meat, but that's besides the fact.
Kenny Lofton's a dying breed, my man.
Everyone's like, this is your number one pick, and like Kenny Lofton is just going to
it's like
fucking
destroying
town on him.
Fucking Chet. He's just a hoss, bro. Little hoss.
Oh man. But I think that's gonna do it, man. I think we've been going here for about an hour and 20 minutes. So we hope you guys enjoyed the reunion. The Max and Juan cast are officially back in full effect for the meanwhile. But as we got together, I'm already fucking leaving again. Yeah. So maybe Max can ride solo dolo if there's some big news out there. Some big news out there, my boy might have to put on the cape and go ahead and get up in there.
Wilson getting signed isn't big news one.
Maybe some Raider news. But
if something happens, I'll be here for sure.
Yeah. You can count on Max. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Like I said, you guys have absolutely been killing it on YouTube, man. We greatly appreciate it. You guys have been loving the basketball content lately. So we continued with that, with this podcast. A lot of NBA in there. A lot of talk about that, bro. So we thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. Max, any last words?
Happy to be back. Can't wait for Juan to be back. and then we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming.
We're gonna come.
We're gonna come.
It's not gonna seem like I'm gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna seem like I'm gone for a while. I'm only gonna be gone for like maybe a week. I'll have clips. You guys will be fine. So.
Yeah. He does his magic, but he's really gone for like a month. I won't talk to him for a month.
But we'll see. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. All right. For now, we out. Peace.